Hello everybody, I'm Mr. Slaughter, and I am a John Kramer stan. Yes, I drank the Kramer Kool-Aid, but not without looking deep into his philosophy. With the release of Saw X, there's been a stream of TikToks like this one made by TikTok user Snacklisted.
Hey, so y'all are pretty bad people, right? So at this point, you're gonna have to either mutilate yourselves or die, so that way maybe you'll appreciate life a little bit more if you get out of it, okay? Alright, have fun, guys. I'll see ya. I'll see ya. You're upset that your son got run over? This fucking guy. Okay. So now you're gonna have to watch all these other people die. I threw in some like choose your own adventure shit. I don't know, you'll enjoy it. It'll be great. I'm gonna go get brain surgery just from this like normal doctor. I don't know. It'll be fine. I'll give her a drill. I don't know. It'll be fine. Okay. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Now, there have been a load of TikToks made, just like that one. No hate to Snacklisted or the other TikTokers making videos like that, but they seem to forget the lore of the Saw movies. John Kramer is only the OG of the games. He had proteges like Amanda Young. Even the fan song by YouTuber Golden Tusk got it right with the lyrics.
The real crime is that I'm one of the good guys.
Before we get started, I'm going to lay down one ground. We are not going to be talking about anything else except for the traps of each movie and video game. I know there's like B plots and C plots and whatnot, but I just want to focus on the traps. Okay, everyone heard. Everyone signed the waiver. Alright, we can dive into the traps of Jigsaw. Bucket room. 4 people wake up in an empty room with bucket-like helmets on their heads, with chains around their necks. On the other side of the room is a wall with saw blades sticking out of it. There's another person, but they're still unconscious. That unconscious person being Logan Nelson. These 5 people are, as I told you, Logan Nelson, Anna, Carly, Mitch, and Ryan. As they begin to panic, a PA system turns on and Kramer's voice says,
I'm sure you're all wondering why you're here. You deny culpability, no doubt, for the circumstances in which you find yourselves. Salvation can be yours if you cleanse yourselves of the habitual lies which have brought you here. Lies that you have told yourselves. Lies that have brutalized others. Confess. The truth will set you free. But any attempt to violate my rules will kill you. I want to play a game.
Fuck you!
First, an offering of blood, no matter how little, will give you a green light to escape from this room with your lives. If you can release yourself from your demons, you can begin to shed the chains that those demons bring with them. Make the simple blood sacrifice that I've requested, or face severe consequences. The choice is yours.
Suddenly, the chains around their necks begin to tighten and pull the 5 towards the wall. Anna, Carly, Mitch, and Ryan successfully offer blood and survive, while Logan wakes up too late and is left to die. Anna, Carly, Mitch, and Ryan get dragged into the next room. The pulley system stops for a few minutes so they can wrap their heads around what they just had to do and try to figure out where they are. After the 4 of them have collected their bearings, my boy Billy the puppet, who has been in the corner this whole time, mind you, his eyes start glowing red, exposing himself to the 4. He slowly begins riding his tricycle towards the group, prompting Ryan to say the best line in this entire movie, in my opinion.
No, it's not creepy at all.
Mitch then tries to open a door, but finds it locked. My boy just laughs some more, and then the pulleys start up again. Anna thinks about what John said in the last room, yelling that they need to confess. Ryan argues with her, but Mitch confesses to selling a boy a bike, when that boy died in an accident 10 minutes after he bought it. But Mitch denies it was his fault. Anna confesses that her and her husband lost their baby after he rolled over on it while he was sleeping, suffocating the baby. Carly can't think of anything. Mitch sees a tape recorder with the words "Play Me" on it hanging around Billy's neck. He grabs it and pulls it off our boy, prompting a buzzer to go off and the police to be released and fall to the floor. The group looks up and sees the chains go into the ceiling. Anna realizes that if the police start up again, the 4 of them are going to hang. Ryan tells Mitch to play the tape before a set of 3 needles fall from seemingly nowhere. Mitch reluctantly plays the tape.
Well, I am certain that there is a desire to point fingers at me for the blood that has been shed. Unless you turn that finger inward, I assure you, more blood will be lost, and all will be judged. We will begin with one who is not only a liar, but a thief, a purse snatcher. And when you had a chance to fix the harm that you'd done, you chose to do nothing. Now it is you who could die without the right medication. While unconscious, this deceiver among you, this criminal, was injected with a poison. One of the syringes in front of you holds the antidote. One is a saline solution. The other, an acid that will cause an excruciating death. Inject the correct one, and your chains will be released. Failure to make the right choice could result in death for you all. I ask you, what is a life worth to you?
The tape stops, and the group look at each other before looking themselves over for marks. All except for our little suspicious friend Carly. Ryan looks over at Carly, seemingly putting 2 and 2 together, before grabbing all 3 needles and telling her to pick one. Mitch backs Ryan up, begging Carly to pick a needle. Carly tries to get out of it by saying, "What if it's the poison?" Anna tries to help Carly remember, but Ryan runs his mouth again, making Carly confess to stealing purses, and that someone died but denies it was her fault. Ryan snaps and threatens to stick all 3 needles into her, but Mitch and Anna stop him. Mitch asks Carly if any of the numbers on the needles mean anything to her. While Ryan is snapping again, Carly recognizes the number 3.53 as what a life is worth to her. The police start up again and begin slowly dragging the group towards death by hanging. Ryan tells her to choose. Carly says she can't. Anna and Mitch join Ryan, begging Carly to choose a needle. Carly still refuses to choose. Soon, the group is pulled into the air and they begin to asphyxiate. Ryan begins to jab Carly as she tries to fight him off while still suffocating. Eventually, Ryan gets the upper hand and jabs Carly in the neck. The chains around their necks unlock, sending the 4 plummeting back down to the ground, gasping for air. Mitch, Anna, and Ryan look over at Carly, and their eyes widen as Carly's eyes begin to bleed. Carly tears the needles out, but it's already too late. She soon begins to gasp for air, and her ear begins to bleed. Not, oops, scratching my ear with a Q-tip bleeding, but I shoved a screwdriver in my ear bleeding before falling to the floor dead. There's victim number 1. Before we go on to our next trap, here's a fun little fact. The acid that kills Carly is the same acid that kills our friend Easton in Saw 6. Trap number 2. Leg wires. We aren't going to talk about this trap much because nobody dies in a security trap, or as I like to call them, punishment traps, made to punish those who don't follow the rules of the game. In the next room, Ryan spots a door with no exit spray painted on it and quickly grabs a shovel. Mitch and Anna try to warn him, but he goes to smash the lock anyway. As he raises the shovel, the wood under him gives way and he falls into the punishment trap. He screams for help as multiple wires tighten around his leg. Also, can I point out, this motherfucking man is wearing Converse. Nice subtle advertising, Lionsgate. Anna and Mitch try to help Ryan by ripping up the floorboards. Anna rips up one and reveals tons of wires wrapped around Ryan's leg and around pulleys. She tells Ryan there's a handle between the wires. Mitch uses the shovel to destroy another floorboard, exposing another tape recorder. The moment he points this out, the trap starts up and the wires around Ryan's leg tighten, making him cry out in pain again. While Ryan is mentally berating himself, Mitch uses a rake to try and grab the tape, ends up tripping a wire, causing the wires around Ryan's leg to tighten again, this time cutting into his skin. Mitch tries one more time, but once again trips the wires. Ryan, who has grown tired of Mitch's bullshit, demands he grab the tape. Mitch reluctantly does and hands the tape to Ryan, who plays it.
There are no shortcuts in life. Please forgive the rather crude example I will make of your decision to not follow the rules. Pull the handle, and you will be set free.
Mitch and Anna look for a way out as Ryan contemplates pulling the handle. As they continue looking, the lights flicker and a small door opens, prompting Anna and Mitch to enter it, like the dumb bitches they are. Little do they know it's another trap, which we will talk about next. Long story short, Ryan pulls the lever, causing the wire to constrict and cut his leg into 3 pieces. Fun fact time! This trap wasn't planned for any of the victims, since it's just a punishment trap. How do we know it's just a punishment trap? The tape Ryan plays doesn't have any subject's name on it, like the other tapes do. Our third trap, the grain silo trap. This is also in its own rights a punishment trap because if the leg wire trap hadn't been activated, neither would this one. So I'm going to make this one short. Anna and Mitch enter the small door, which leads them into a grain silo. As they enter, a small monitor within Ryan's view randomly turns on. As Anna and Mitch look around the silo, they do see a monitor, but this one's turned on. Well, it's just static. And they also see a TV remote hanging from the ceiling with Play Me on it. The two of them know they have to get the remote, so Mitch lifts Anna up and she grabs it, which prompts the small door to close and trap the two inside. If you hadn't gone through the door, you wouldn't have gotten caught. They then try to push the door back open, to no avail, because it opens from the other side. It's a pull to open door. The TV in the grain silo suddenly goes from static to a video of our boy Billy. Ryan's monitor does the same.
In the past, you have all put your own interests above others, and then lied to yourselves and deceived the world about your callousness, your larceny, your criminality. Now, you will look in the mirror, and you will face who you really are. The choices you have made may cost you your life. You cannot escape the truth. There is, however, one person who can help you. Ryan. If he pulls the lever before you're buried alive, you will live. Ryan, free yourself to free them.
The TV then switches to a live feed of Ryan, while Ryan's monitor does the same, but with Anna and Mitch. Suddenly, grain starts to pour into the silo. Anna and Mitch beg Ryan to pull the handle while rain falls on them. Ryan, who has put 2 and 2 together thanks to the trap he's in, refuses to. Anna and Mitch continue to beg till they are buried up to their shoulders in the grain, while Ryan watches on, still refusing to pull the lever. I mean, I get it, Ryan, no one wants to cut off their own leg, but come on, being an amputee isn't that bad compared to letting people die. Soon, the grain stops pouring, saving the two from being buried alive. But no sooner are they celebrating than farm tools begin to drop, nearly killing them. A knife even stabs Mitch in the shoulder, while a saw blade lands inches away from Anna's face. Anna yells that if they die, Ryan dies, since he won't be able to get free without him. That seems to persuade Ryan, and he begins to reach for the lever. Not before what straight up looks like knitting needles or train track spikes stab Anna in the arm. You guys are on a farm. In the middle of nowhere. If they are train track spikes, which makes more sense than the knitting needles, where did you even get them? We see the outside of this farm later in the movie. There's not a train anywhere near here. But I digress. Let's get back to the point at hand. Soon, multiple farm tools begin to fall, compared to one at a time. So Ryan pulls the lever, cutting his leg into 3 pieces like I previously stated, and opening the small door to the silo, making the grain, Anna, and Mitch pull back into the room, with Anna nearly falling into a muck rake which could have taken out her left eye. For those who don't know, a muck rake is a type of rake farmers use to pick up horse poop. But anyway, yada yada yada, they survive the trap. Yay! Now, fun fact time. While this is a punishment trap in itself, it is just more proof John had backup plans for every little scenario, aka backup plans for backup plans. On to our next trap, the cycle trap. Anna patches Ryan up while Mitch looks for another way out. Anna puts a tourniquet on Ryan, causing him to scream in pain, the pain in turn making him pass out. Anna makes sure that he is still breathing before an old tractor's headlights turn on. How do they turn on? Oh my! Oh my! Mitch goes over to it like a dumbass and sees a panel with a red X. Get it? X marks the spot. Good one, Kramer. Mitch then opens the hatch and finds a tape recorder with his name on it and plays it. The moment he hits play, a cable wraps around his legs and lifts him into the air upside down.
Hello, Mitch. You've admitted to selling a boy a motorcycle. But you've not told the entire story, have you? $600 for a bike that you listed in excellent condition, even though you knew the brakes were faulty. You took his $600, and in return you delivered him to his end. He was my nephew, and he never hurt anyone. The device you see here has a unique power source. It's the same engine that graced the bike you sold my nephew. However, I assure you, the brake lever for this one works perfectly.
Look, you're right!
Avoid the dangers around you. Hit the motorcycle brake handle, and the motor will stop.
Oh, shit!
Live or die, Mitch. The choice is yours.
As Mitch is lifted higher into the air, another cable pulls the cloth off of another trap, and he is dangled above this trap. After the tape finishes, the engine of this motorcycle starts turning the trap on. Mitch yells that he's sorry, but is still lowered in the trap, as of course he is. He's being lowered in because he's yelling "I'm sorry" to the air. He can't apologize to anybody else, there's no one else there, he's just screaming it into the air. What did you think was going to happen, Mitch? Did you think the air was going to turn off the trap? Anyway, I'm done rambling, let's move on. Anna tries to find a way to stop the trap as Mitch continues to beg for his life through the air. Somehow, Anna manages to get to the motorcycle that is running the trap. May I note, Anna is being such a badass. If I had only seen this scene, I would have thought she was the final girl, this being a horror movie and all. But as she is not, she can't find a way to shut the trap off, and tells Mitch to pull the brake that's underneath him. Mitch reaches for the brake while Anna is still trying to find a way to stop the trap. As Mitch strains, trying to grab the brake, he slips and cuts his arm and the blades around him. Anna, being the badass that she is, shoves a piece of scrap metal into the motorcycle's tire, successfully stopping the spinning of the blades, but sadly, only temporarily. While Mitch is celebrating prematurely, the motorcycle breaks a piece of scrap metal that was in its tire and starts the trap up again, shredding Mitch up like he was Swiss cheese before spitting him out of its open body. Fun fact time. This trap was originally planned for Saw 4, being called the Blender Trap, which would have killed our friends Jeff and Chris. But it was scrapped. Luckily, it was brought back from death for this movie, which I am very happy for. And last but not least, we have our fifth and final trap, the shotgun keys trap. Ryan wakes up just in time to see Swiss cheese Mitch fall to the floor, and like any normal person who sees a shredded body should do, he screams like a little bitch. While Ryan is slowly bleeding to death and panicking, Anna tries to pry open the door with a shovel. She succeeds, but the door opens only a little bit, revealing it's still chained shut on the other side. She tries to squeeze through the gaps as Ryan is screaming for her not to leave him. She manages to get half her body through the door before she's attacked by a man in a pig mask and a black and red robe. That robe looks very comfy, I might add, but I digress. The man shoves a needle into her chest and she passes out. She wakes up sometime later in a different room, with her ankle chained to the wall. We can see Ryan on the other end of this room, chained up as well. And who's that man in the middle of the room? My man, John fucking Kramer, my boy! You can't do any wrong, can you, John? You just need a hug, don't you? You just need a little Snickers bar. What? I'm a John Kramer stan. He's baby in my eyes. But let's get on with this trap. Anna recognizes John, while Ryan, on the other hand, is still loopy as all hell. Kramer explains that the two of them are going to play a game. Ryan screams that he already passed Kramer's test, but Kramer explains that it wasn't his test, and that he could have kept his leg if he had just played by the rules. Ryan begs for mercy, but Kramer tells him he doesn't deserve mercy because he hasn't even confessed what he did a little bit. Ryan confesses and yells that he wants to live, and Kramer says he does too, alluding to the fact he's been diagnosed with cancer, even though he's not diagnosed until a later movie. I know the timelines are confusing, and flashbacks within flashbacks, I get it, but that doesn't mean the timeline's still not confusing. We will discuss the timeline in a later video. That's a topic for another video. It doesn't matter anyway, since people who have been watching this movie since the first one came out in 2004 already know that our boy John Kramer has cancer. But let's move on. John explains Anna hasn't been telling the truth about what happened to her baby. Ryan asks what Kramer's going to do to them, and in good old Kramer fashion, he says he isn't going to do anything, but they will. Ryan continues to beg for his life while Anna berates Kramer. Kramer ignores both of them and says in order to achieve freedom, you have to realize they've been doing it backwards. Before loading a shotgun with their key to freedom and placing it on a stand in the middle of the room. He explains the rules and leaves the room. Anna thinks Kramer wants her to kill Ryan, but he disagrees, saying killing one another is what Kramer wants them to do. Anna ignores him and aims a shotgun at him. Ryan realizes what Kramer meant by backwards and tries to warn Anna, but she pulls the trigger anyway, killing herself and leaving Ryan to presumably die. Ryan pulls himself to the dispensed shell and sees two broken keys. He says they could have been free before Ryan is back, seemingly accepting his fate. Last fun fact of this video. Ryan's death is a reference to Adam's death from the first movie. Now, on to what I'm calling, Did the Victims Deserve It? A segment where I make a tally every time someone deserves to be in a trap, and a tally for every time someone didn't deserve to be in the trap. Remember, this is my opinion, so please don't attack me in the comments section. Harley. She was so broke, she began to steal handbags to make ends meet. She ended up stealing a purse from a woman with asthma. This woman began to chase her before suffering an asthma attack. While Carly was looking through the purse, she saw an inhaler and felt a pang of guilt, and went to give it back. But upon seeing the woman having an asthma attack, she took the $3.33 and left the woman to die in the streets. Now, if she had actually returned the handbag or even called 911 before running away, she would have deserved her trap, but she did run away. So that's one tally for yes. Anna. Anna was John's neighbor. Her and her husband supported John throughout his chemotherapy. but her marriage was not perfect. Her and her husband argued a lot, plus she had a newborn at home. Those two things didn't help her stress levels. One night, her baby wouldn't stop crying. At first, she tried to calm it down, but it just wouldn't stop crying. So, in a fit of rage, she smothered her baby. When she came back to her senses, she realized what she had done and was terrified of the consequences. So she put her baby's dead body next to her sleeping husband, so when he woke up in the morning, he would think he rolled over onto his baby, smothering it. So Honor made her husband think he killed their own child. When the police arrived, Anna continued to lie, like the bitch-ass fucking bitch she is, and blamed her husband. Her husband was arrested and sent to a mental hospital where he was so filled with guilt that he hung himself. Killing a baby and causing your husband to commit suicide? Yeah, add a tally to yes. That's 2 for yes. Mitch. Mitch sold a bike to John Kramer's nephew, lying, saying it was in excellent condition, even though the brakes were faulty. This man, this lying, thieving man, wanted a sale so bad that he even covered leaking brake fluid with his foot. That resulted in John's nephew driving away in excitement until he saw a truck approaching. He tried to stop, but with faulty brakes he couldn't. He rammed into the truck and died. Mitch's first mistake was lying and selling a faulty motorcycle to a man whose uncle is the Jigsaw killer. Dude, you fucked up. But yes, lying about the condition of a motor vehicle is bad enough, but when it is a life-threatening issue, you deserve whatever karma comes your way. That's 3 tallies for yes. Ryan. Ryan liked to drink when he was younger. One night when he was drunk, he stood up in his friend's car in a drunken glee. His best friend, the driver of the car, then tried to pull him back. He resisted and fell out of the car, while his best friend tried to grab him. Since his best friend wasn't paying attention, he crashed into another car, causing the 2 cars to explode, killing his best friend and the other passengers. When the police questioned him, he lied, pointing the blame to his best friend. While he gets half a point for not drinking and driving, he ultimately deserves to be tested for blaming innocent people and being the cause of death for multiple people. That is 4 tallies for yes. Logan. I'm sorry to say, I'm not gonna judge him since the other half of this movie explains what happened to him. That'll be for a future video. So that's 4 out of 4 for deserved it. I will keep adding to this chart for future videos. I promise this chart is important. It's going to be evidence for the final video of this series so I can defend John Kramer with evidence. Now, onto who was running the games. Here's a chart where we're going to keep tabs on who was running the games so I can defend John at the end of the series. So, for this half of the movie, John Kramer himself, the OG, was running the game. Now, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Plus, since this is my first video, if you want to give me some not criticism, some constructive criticism of how to do the series better, I'll take your advice, I'll read through them. I just want to make sure this series is good for y'all. So, if you want to do that, go to the comments section and type and I'll read. Just please don't be mean. This is my very first YouTube video. Now, I'll see all you Kramer stans in the next video. Goodbye!